Ed io pensavo ad un sogno lontano, a una stanzetta ad un ultimo piano, quando d'inverno al mio cuore si stringeva, come pioveva, ed io pensavo ad un sogno lontano, a una stanzetta ad un ultimo piano.
Al cortile, l'hanno fatto dentro qui, poi lungo tutta la strada, dappertutto.
Quando sono sceso dalla scala.
Sì.
Quando poi passò Francesco,
Sì.
Anna Magnani era sulla porta.
L'hanno fatto anche sulla
Quando è
Moravia.
sceso che Francesco l'hanno preso e l'hanno messo dentro al camion, allora Anna Magnani del lato di qua c'erano due tedeschi, si buttò a pesce proprio sul marciapiede. Si ruppe i ginocchi, sì. Sì, c'era Fabrizio, sì. Hanno caricato tutti gli uomini, c'era pure io.
Sì, a mettere in Trastevere, no?
No, ci portarono giù vicino a Bivio Decima. Lì poi ci hanno fermato, lì ha fatto una carambola perché gli è scoppiata una bomba. Allora noi da sopra il camion siamo scappati, abbiamo levato i fucili ai tedeschi, finti tedeschi.
Proprio bello è stato, perché poi è stato proprio nel naturale, perché tutti noi altri eravamo, tutti noi si lavorava. E niente.
Francesco! Fino! Francesco! Carogna! Francesco!
Voi avete visto questo film?
No, non l'ho sentito.
Roma città aperta.
Roma città aperta sì, l'ho seguito quel film.
Cosa pensa di Roma città aperta?
È stato un film che ha entusiasmato il pubblico nei riguardi di quello che hanno fatto i tedeschi. E molta gente purtroppo, specialmente i piccoli, ancora non ci credono a quello che possono aver fatto.
Signora,
Che devo dire? Insomma.
lei andava a vedere tutti quei film lì.
Sì, ci andavo e mi piacevano e ci portavo i ragazzini miei. Adesso con i nipoti non ci posso portare perché è proibito.
Perché ci portava i ragazzini?
Perché erano film carini, semplici e carini.
Lei ha visto il film Roma città aperta?
No, Roma città aperta? Sì, ma molto tempo fa.
Ma cosa pensa di questo film?
Beh, mi pare che sia una cosa, insomma, fatta bene.
Lei ha visto la di biciclette?
Sì.
Cosa pensa di questi film? Cosa pensa dei film neorealisti?
Beh, insomma, hanno messo un po' troppo in luce le nostre cose in Italia, insomma.
Le cose brutte dell'Italia.
Ecco, d'accordo.
Lei pensa che questo non si debba fare?
Beh, debba fare o pubblicarlo? No, sta male, insomma, non so, di fronte agli stranieri fai vedere che noi siamo così ladruncoli, ecco.
Lei non crede che si debba mostrare all'estero dei film di questo genere?
Secondo me non è bello scoprire oppure farsi vedere i denti che abbiamo in bocca.
La storia di Roma città aperta è una storia piena di...
The history of Rome, open city, is full of surprises and contradictions. Maybe it all was born out of a deep spiritual need of ours, but we didn't realize it. We certainly didn't set out to make a neorealist film. It's just that the major studios were all tied up at the time. So we shot the film in our own homes. Rome, Open City, was filmed right in our own neighborhood. As for production problems, our main problem was finding film stock and money to eat with. Rome, Open City, was first shown at a sort of little festival. I remember that evening. I remember the public whistled at it. As for the critics, well, half of the critics were totally negative. The other half, they accepted the film in one sense. But they insisted that it was all just straight reporting, certainly not art. When I made Rome, Open City and Paisan, the idea of going to make a film outside a studio was considered absolutely crazy. Yet we found we could very well shoot in real houses and on real streets. Along with this came innumerable technical advances, adaptations, some small, some even made by hand. And these new techniques helped resolve the fundamental problem. Then the technique itself became a new language, offering new possibilities to everyone. Without these technical adaptations, neorealism would never have been possible. What was important to me was, in the very formalistic cinema of that time, to use the most direct language in order to speak in the most direct possible way. That's all. As for Paisan, the criticism was even worse. They said it was sketchy, they said it was spotty. They always say the same things, don't they?
Spara una mitragliatrice da via dei Bardi. State attenti che là di anche gli sta piazzando una granata.
Guarda, la mia casa è laggiù oltre quel viale. May I have your glasses, please? Could I have your binoculars, please?
The baptistry is the one near the church. It was built at a later date. I once saw a picture of the doors of the baptistry. Rather like those of Salisbury Cathedral, I thought.
What are they waiting for? Why don't they enter the city?
The situation's not clear yet. We'll probably be here in strength tomorrow.
But the Germans retreated when you first arrived.
How do you know? That's what we're here to find out. So, is the Ponte Vecchio guarded?
Sorry, I don't know anything. I have no idea. But will they destroy all the town? Will they blow up the bridges? All the buildings?
Why should they stop at Florence? They've destroyed half of Europe already. The poor fools, the Jerrys always put their foot in it. That's why they're going to lose the war.
Looking at neorealism from a distance, you might say it was a collective effort of the whole Italian cinema. But if you analyze it, the whole movement was based on the work of very, very few men. Rossellini, De Sica.
C'è stato un periodo di smarrimento.
It was a beautiful time, beautiful for us as artists, but ugly for us as Italians and as men. The period right after the war. It was a time of great passions, of important events, of situations that were extremely dramatic. Unemployment and the bicycle thief, the alienation of Umberto D., the tragedy of the children in Shoeshine.
E poi abbiamo voluto, appunto, per tema...
Then we started to worry that neorealism was becoming a formula. So we decided to make a fable using our neorealistic technique. And we made Miracle in Milan. Many liked it, others didn't like it. So we took a step backward and we made Indiscretions of an American Wife and The Roof. So for my part, there have been interruptions, confusion, and attempts to apply neorealism to other theatrical forms. But right after the war, passions were so strong right after the war that they really pushed us. They forced us toward this kind of film truth. And this truth was transfigured by poetry and lyricism. It was because of its lyricism that neorealism so captured the world, because there was poetry in our reality. Neorealism represented a real revolution, a liberation. And revolutions in art always bring a change in form, even if they're also moral. That is, their expression is formal, even when their implication is moral. In the case of neorealism, there was certainly a moral liberation from what had preceded it. The excesses, the rhetoric, the conventions of a fascist era. We did good work together, and we made mistakes together. We had our weak moments, too. You have to realize that we couldn't do everything that we wanted to do. Sometimes for reasons outside of our control, and sometimes because of other difficulties. Because of limitations within ourselves that we didn't know how to overcome. I think that today everybody agrees about neorealism, about what it meant to all of us. Certainly what it meant to me was a leap forward in our moral consciousness. Really, a leap forward in our moral consciousness. Today, neorealism hasn't developed its premises. But that doesn't mean that its premises weren't valid. That's one of the things we used to argue about in the past.
Le premesse
Its premises are intact
sono sane,
and healthy.
sono coloro che dovevano tirare le
But
conseguenze
people just didn't know how to develop them.
dovevano tirarle. Allora abbiamo avuto il periodo di smarrimento.
After neorealism, we had a period of confusion,
Siamo arrivati
and here we are today.
in cui il cinema veramente non sa ancora
At a
qual è
time when the cinema really doesn't know its true road.
le passioni dell'immediato dopoguerra.
Passions right after the war,
Vive molto
well, one could feel them
da poterle constatare con una
very
certa
concretely.
evidenza. Oggi le
Today,
passioni sono più-
passions are further underground,
sono più-
more
sono più
mysterious,
misteriose.
more secret. You have to dig for them.
Guarda un po' più là. Guarda un po' più su. Accendi una di queste. Accendi un po' più. Pronto? È colazione, scusa, va benissimo. Ecco, aria a sinistra, eh? Riaccendi? Sei spaventato.
You're really frightened, terrified.
Sei terrorizzato perché
They've really hurt you. They've tied you up, hit you on the head. You're dazed, stunned. Then they gagged you to keep you from calling out. You finally managed to pull off the gag, and now you're calling help in a voice full of terror.
Con la tua voce. Help! Motore! Tac! Via 811 secondi. Facciamo!
Help! Help! Help!
Stop! Va bene, un altro
Io
così.
penso che lo sforzo si
Filmmaking is perhaps more difficult today.
perché allora
After
si
the
può
war, there were
guardare
real scorching issues surrounding everybody who was making
era
films.
molto eccitante,
And this was very
molto,
exciting.
posso dire,
It
tanti
indicated a
suggerimenti
precise
precisi.
direction.
Non per
And
niente
many
questo
people emerged out of the urgent need,
ricco,
the
così-
richness,
e così
the importance
importante
of that film movement
cinema che si
called
chiama
Italian neorealism.
Oggigiorno invece che la
But
realtà
now,
come noi si è
the world
in
around
qualche
us has
modo
become more
normalizzata,
normal in a
è
way,
molto più difficile individuare
and it's much more difficult to distinguish the focal points,
focali, diciamo, punti più nevralgici.
the searing centers of psychology today, of the human condition today. It's harder to express the individual moment. In the old days, it was easy to perceive what to center on. It was only a question of finding the best possible way to express the truth that surrounded us.
E mi sembra che questa condizione oggi non sia più
Today, it's no longer possible to try to describe the human condition
diciamo prevalentemente
mainly in social terms, as neorealism did. Today, the only solutions, at least for me, have to be sought inside oneself. Now here's a small part of the film I'm editing. It represents a level of fantasy in the film. Half the film takes place outside the real world, It represents the fantasies and memories of the main character. This section has given me some subtle problems, both in shooting and editing, because nothing is supposed to be real. I used to look for answers from the outside world. I used to seek out the defects, the injustices, the obstacles outside. For example, society, the class struggle, racial discrimination. But now I'm looking more for answers inside myself. It's a change in my point of view, and I tried to express it with this film.
Azione, Totò, sei più alla tua sinistra. Un po' più alla tua sinistra. Stop.
Sono ancora uno o no? Che dici? No, basterà così. Vabbè.
Più bella la corsa, a meno che non abbia sbagliato la
No,
macchina.
appunto, è quello il pericolo, per quello bisogna fare sempre due.
Hai sbagliato la macchina?
No, no, forse no, ma nessuno... No, però aspetta, Totò, se non ti senti non mi importa. Se facciamo uno più breve, più indietro!
Indietro.
Più alla tua destra!
A destra.
Ecco, indietro!
Indietro, così.
Sempre dritto indietro! Ecco lì! Parte da lì!
Guarda verso di me, Nine.
Comincia a dire la battuta!
Morire.
Stop! Pronti? Via, via, via! Ferme, dai, brutte quelle bambine ferme. Stop! Ma andiamo più bello con la e faccio la panoramica così, dove verranno con la macchina così, seguendo loro che vengono avanti dal pozzo, così. Ecco.
Fino al cortiletto o anche più a sinistra?
No, no, fino al cortiletto. Cosa ha rappresentato secondo
What did neorealism represent for you, Mr. Pasolini?
Ha rappresentato il primo
It stood for the first act of critical political consciousness that Italy had experienced.
In quale senso?
Italy up to that point had no history, no unified history as a nation, only a history as many divided little peoples, divided little countries, and with a great gap between North and South. And then the last 20 years had been a history of fascism, the history of an aberrational unity. It was only with the resistance that Italian history began. First of all, neorealism meant the rediscovery of Italy, a first look at Italy without rhetoric, without lies. And there was a sense of pleasure in the self-discovery, even pleasure in denouncing one's own shortcomings. This was common to everything. The other common quality was its Marxist character. All the neorealist works were founded on the idea that the future would be better, or else revolution. The political and economic realities of that time were completely different from today. Italy was coming out of a political dictatorship, and there was a need to expose so many things that the Italian public had never seen, never been aware of. So it's clear that our political state today, our attitude today, must be more thoughtful, less immediate. This is the only way we'll bring about a more European cinema, one that sees Italy integrated with Europe. Realism doesn't mean showing real things, but showing how things really are. It was this definition by Brecht that critically challenged Italian neorealism. Not Rossellini, though. Rossellini is the only one in neorealism who didn't just show us things, didn't just try to be a realist, but gave us an idea of things. He wasn't interested in the appearance of things, but in the idea behind the things. even the idea behind the idea. A man my age feels at a disadvantage in film today. That's obvious. It seems to me that not only film, but all the arts in general, the novel and so on, have become a kind of contest between certain specialists. There are specialists of national style, specialists in alienation, specialists in sex. It's all become a contest between specialists. But the contests don't seem to me to be important or essential. What matters is to be a man, and as a man to express yourself the best you can. The past is past. It doesn't matter anymore for any individual. We have to try to look elsewhere, to look toward the future. That's the most important thing. I'm the most severe critic of my own films. Zavatiini, too. He goes wild because of the mistakes we've made. And we certainly know that we've made mistakes. I, for one, have made many mistakes. And we admit this with sadness, because we always loved what we did, and we always put our most passionate feeling into it. But sometimes our minds and hearts just didn't serve us well enough.
Come pioveva,